Well, Garrett, last week we were complaining that we hadn't had a single top 30 visit with a defensive end. And then immediately after stopping recording, we just decided to meet with two. And honestly, one of the most intriguing ones ever, Arvell Reese was in the building, Garrett. A linebacker slash edge rusher, hybrid tweener kind of guy, projected to go as high as pick number 2, is visiting the Chiefs. Do you envision a trade up? And we also did David Bailey, another guy that potentially is going to be gone by pick number 9. So Chiefs doing their homework on guys you need to trade up for to get. That could be exciting. Jordan Schultz reports that there's a lot of potential trade ups and downs in this draft for 2026. We're going to talk about that, all the visits. We signed a new guy. We got rid of a bum ass that we don't want to have anymore. I'm already cussing 49 seconds into the episode. And I'm hyped up on my Rise coffee right now, not sponsored, hashtag not sponsored, and my Corn Doggy cup, not sponsored as well. Shout out to Corn Doggy, real one. They gave me this mug, not a cup, and it has a Chiefs logo smiling on it. Garrett, that was a lot from me. It's your turn to talk.
Hey, look, man, obviously a lot happens. I feel like the moment we put down the mic and we just kind of sit back and, take a step back and look at it, everything happens, and then we can't talk about it until a week later when we're finally back to Talkin Chop. And it's finally, we were waiting, kind of speculating on why it was taking us so long to meet with Edge, considering that's arguably our biggest need right now. Met with David Bailey and Arvell Reese, two prospects that I'm honestly guaranteeing they will not be there at 9. So that kind of gives us maybe a slight insight to see, hey, Veach is probably pretty majorly considering trading up from 9. Just kind of waiting to see what kind of deals he can strike and see if we can maybe get a little bit of a fleece going, trying to just maybe even a couple picks. I know I heard that thing that the Browns are probably going to be trading out of I believe 6, so could be an interesting spot there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fun stuff. And as a reminder, we're going to have Alex from Chiefs Talk on the podcast for our draftathon. We're going to have graphics that I'm making Jackson do. I'm kidding. He's going to get paid, maybe. We don't know yet, actually. Introducing our associate producer, Jackson, at the perfect time right now. He does a lot of behind-the-scenes work. He does all of our stats. He makes sure that we're correct on our stats. And he does a lot of other stuff, too, like just being there for the vibes and talking about Pokemon and how bad the Royals are at baseball. So
we don't need to get back into that, man. Terrible performance today against the Guardians. Just terrible.
This is going to spark a 20-minute conversation.
Yeah, we gotta step back from the Royals. We're talking Chop, not talking Kingdom.
Royals.
Talking Royals,
Crown,
talking Crown, maybe. But
talking Kaufman. Kaufman's not bad.
Long story short, the boys need to learn how to hit a baseball, and we just need to put our best boys out there. What can we say?
Justice for Kyle Isbell. Why is he in the bullpen, dude? Or the
Facts.
doghouse?
Get Lane Thomas out of the building. Shoot him into the moon.
He was right. Know. We are talking about
send him on Artemis 3. I don't know what to do. Just get him out of the outfield.
All right, back to the Chiefs, which currently aren't playing a sport right now, but are doing a lot of homework and making some moves. Garrett, let's just get right into it. An addition by subtraction, some might say. Jawaan Taylor has found a home, and that home comes right after a guy retires. Caleb McGarry retired for the Falcons, right tackle, only 27 years old, Garrett. And I'll have Jackson fact check it, but I'm pretty sure he went to K-State, if I'm not mistaken, Caleb McGarry. I could be completely wrong, but for some reason, I think he went to K-State. I don't know why. Anyway, he retired. Jawaan Taylor hops right into the Falcons, and now he's going to be a starter. So shout out to him. He found a starting job, but I mean, I already told my Falcons fan, he's like, David, is he any good? And I was like, well, he leads the league in penalties in the last 3 years. And he's like, great. So we got Caleb McGarry again. I was like, yeah, I guess so. So it looks like Garrett is.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like Atlanta, they sign our boy, and, hey, props to him.
He went to Washington, a different purple school. My bad.
Yeah, completely out of it. But regardless, he did a job for us. I'm not going to say whether it was a good job or a bad job. I'd say it was somewhere in the intermediary. Would have loved for him to learn how to line up in the most crucial moments of a game correctly. But regardless, Falcons are kind of, going through right now because the whole James Pierce Jr. thing happened, and now they're in shambles about their whole draft. And I have a buddy that I work with who's a Falcons fan, and he comes up to me that day after the James Pierce Jr. news drops, and he goes, "Man, you think he's going to be able to play?" I'm like, "Play? That dude's getting 20 years." And he's like, "Yeah, you think so?" He was coping super hard. It was really funny. But hey, good luck to him in Atlanta, and we're not getting him back. That's the news, really. He's not coming back.
Well, this is speaking of someone who is coming back, this probably might be the most brutal transitions I will do on the show. But Rashee Rice, speaking of people with situations, is cleared of his situation. The NFL completed their investigation and deemed that Rashee Rice, there wasn't sufficient evidence to suspend him. So I know the law in the real world has to do their due process too, but usually the NFL is law. And it appears that Rashee Rice may be off the hook for this one.
It definitely doesn't help with the allegations. That's for sure. I feel like the little special treatment for the boys in red. It's just there wasn't enough probably, supporting background evidence that the NFL could have, made any sort of reasonable
Pure
judgment.
Speculation, by the way, but yes.
Right. Pure speculation. Have no idea. We are not insiders. But regardless, obviously, great to have the guy back in the room. He was talking some crazy on that Instagram live, though. He's like, "Yeah, I'd love to stay a Chief forever, man, and make that JSN money." I'm like, JSN money? You are insane if you think you're getting anywhere close to the amount that he is making currently. Maybe play a full season before you even talk about a contract like that.
Bro, be lucky if he gets Alec Pierce money. Let's be honest.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. I'm like, I heard him say that on the Instagram live. I'm like, you are delusional. Delusional.
Well, you got to be delusional because now he's going to play like JSN and get 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns.
If he does, awesome, dude. But like, you're not making, as of right now, Rashee Rice, you are not worth what, like $42 million a year?
Jackson
Absolutely
sent the contract information in the chat for us, thankfully. 4 years, $168 million. You guys do the math because I'm not doing it right now. But yeah, basically, the other thing he said in that thing is they want to draft a wide receiver. They talked about getting Carnell Tate at 1. Guys, we don't need another wide receiver. And if we do draft a wide receiver...
Not at 1. Not at 9.
Well, I mean,
or 29, really.
If Jordan Tyson's there at 29, I don't care.
I also, I've actually started to slowly fall more into the Casey Concepcion kind of ring. Because, I look...
You just want Casey and KC. He's worthy again.
Let me add... Okay,
and he went to Texas A&M. Boo, Texas A&M.
I know. The only reason I say that is because I looked into his tape the other day, and I was like puking watching Texas A&M's quarterback. He is god awful.
Oh yeah, Marcel Reed.
If you get I'm saying if you get KC with a decent quarterback, he could be nasty. I'm not saying he's gonna be this phenomenal prospect, but I think
he looked good on NC State when he had a better quarterback because Marcel Reed's the most overrated quarterback ever, and I work at Texas with a guy who came from Texas A&M, and he talks about Marcel Reed all the time. And I'm like, bro, he's terrible. He's better than Arch. He's not better than Arch. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, if a guy like Casey, like some, for whatever miraculous reason, how prospects do, drops to like 40 and the board fell a certain way, and we've already got DN solidified, maybe D tackle, I wouldn't mind throwing a little bit of a pick in at Casey's way, especially at 40.
I'd rather have Jordan Tyson if he somehow is available at 29. He probably won't be because I think he's going to get drafted around that 18 to 20 range. But I'm okay with taking a more injury concerned player at pick 29, like a Caleb Banks, like a Jordan Tyson, because we did that last year and it worked really well with Josh Simmons. And honestly, with the way the talent is, I'm okay taking that risk. I know you want to kind of take a Christian Miller kind of guy. Peter Woods could be there. I mean, you could also take a DN. Who knows? Falk may fall. Who knows? I don't know. What's his name? I can't think of it.
That kid from Clemson, TJ Parker, he could fall as well.
Yeah. And then
although, I think TJ Parker fits more into like the Karlaftis scheme, and I don't think we want another Karlaftis. I'm going to be honest.
We need a lengthier guy, like a Carlos Dunlap, but like young again. And then, there's also Zion Young, but he might be
trade up for Bailey. I'm still serious. I think we do go at least 2 edges this draft. I think we could get one early, and like maybe somewhere in the third we get another edge rusher. I could definitely see us pulling that.
We need a defensive tackle. We need an interior defensive tackle.
No, I agree. I'm just saying of our picks of our 9 or whatever, I think 2 of them go to edge.
But shout out Tonga. I think you're going to be a great Mike Pennell replacement, and I'm going to love you as much as I love Pennell because I heard a lot of good things about Patriots fans loving Tonga. And I'm sorry, Mike Pennell. I'm going to miss you so much, man. Dude, the Rise coffee got me geeking right now. I'll be honest. I just chugged the whole thing right before we did this.
Better than your Dr. Pepper Zeros, man.
Oh yeah, not zeros. Those don't exist anymore. I just do straight Dr. Pepper. Put the sugar.
Bro, I have a Dr. Pepper Zero in my fridge right now. You are capping.
Wait, what am I thinking of? Oh, Dr. Pepper 10. Remember Dr. Pepper 10? Dr. Pepper 10 was the shit back then.
Oh, so Associate Producer Jackson just said this in the chat. I saw the exact same mock draft you probably saw today, where they're like, Chiefs are going to double down on corner in the first round. I will lose my mind.
I think the corners are good deeper in the draft too. Like, I mean, in the 3rd and 4th round, 2nd round even, we could take a corner or a safety. We also need a safety. We're not double dipping on corner. I think we're about pretty okay on corner.
I think the depth at cornerback and safety in this draft is way deeper than edge, and we need to prioritize that position early, and then we can dip into the cornerback safety realm later.
I also think I need to clarify what I just said, saying we're pretty okay at corner. Yes, I understand we just lost 3 corners in Josh Williams, Trent McDuffie, and Jaylen Watson. I'm saying that we are really good at replacing those positions. And perfect segue, we did sign a former first-round pick. Welcome to the team, former Bills, Cowboys, and Titans corner, Kaiir Elam out of Florida.
Classic.
I'm excited and not excited at all because this is a classic Veach, former first-round pick bust. Let's see if they have anything. Depth signing. He could be amazing. He could be ass. He could be serviceable. He looked okay his final season in Buffalo. The Cowboys cut him mid-season last year, and the Titans picked him up, and he got 2 fumble recoveries in 4 games, which was a really weird stat. But he's pretty good size at 6'1", and he's very fast. And he was the cornerback that was actually taken after Trent McDuffie because we hopped the Bills to take Trent McDuffie. The Bills wanted Trent McDuffie. We would have been stuck with Kaiir Elam the first time. Now we got both.
Well, we have one at a time, right?
Oh, so you're right. You're right. We do have one at a time.
But I mean, the sentiment is still there. This is just another one of those classic Veach finds a former first-round bust, brings him in either through like a really cheap trade or through free agency, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. When it comes to Kaiir Elam, I just, whenever we played against the Bills when they had him, I just really didn't see him too much. So it's like, maybe he fits better in a Spags system. I could see it. Spags just somehow has this knack to be able to find ways to get players that are more niche onto the field in more significant ways, and I could definitely see that happening. But regardless,
what's interesting about him, he played like no slot corner at all. So it's interesting we're bringing him in as an outside corner. And I feel like his skill set matches like a Veach slot corner. So maybe we convert him to a slot and he succeeds all of a sudden because that can happen. So who knows?
Because and I think, comparing the cornerback room we have right now and, just filling in some later picks, I could see that being beneficial and we could succeed with, that type of cornerback room. Because the way I look at it, especially with us picking so early, it's like, people mocking us to take, even Monsieur Delane at 9. I'm like, that would be great. Even if he's a phenomenal also not going to re-sign him. When have we ever re-signed a corner we've taken in the first?
But then you get him for 5 years instead of 4.
Right. You get him for 5 years and then he's gone. Right. But it's like, if we can find a premier edge rusher or whatever position, we could even go wide receiver. I have no idea at this point, but it's like we're gonna we are statistically more likely to have those players for longer than we are drafting a corner.
I think we might take a wide receiver earlier too, because I did just think about Rashee Rice is not on the team next year. Like, with all due respect, Rashee Rice, unless he takes like a huge discount, I don't see him on the team next year.
Andy Reid is a 2-chance guy. Clark Hunt is not. That's the big difference, right? And
Kareem
honestly,
Hunt came back.
Kareem Hunt did come back, but how many years did he come back later?
And he also
know?
did, he did a one strike thing, I think. Well, I think he but yeah,
so
it was a big
I think
strike.
I think it's I mean, if Rashee Rice is talking about getting all this money and it comes off season next year and he's like, I want 30 mil a year. Bye-bye. See you later.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he has like a 2,000 yard season, 15 touchdown. Yeah, maybe we'll talk. Right.
But Alec Pierce barely got 1,000 yards and he got that money.
I mean,
so
that was kind of a crazy contract. But like that's the thing we were talking about. It's like those kind of contracts ruin the market, man. They ruin it. We talked about it before with the Jaguars signing Christian Kirk. Like that was huge contract overpay for a guy that like
he's okay. He's at 1,000 yards.
He's okay.
He's pretty good. Actually,
he's not at the time. What was it, like 30 something mil a year for Christian Kirk? It was insane at the time. And
only 20, but I think that's how bad the market's gotten since then. I think it was 20.
I still blame the Christian Kirk deal for us losing Tyreek because I feel like he looked at the Christian Kirk deal and was like, dude, I'm way better than Christian Kirk. I need that money. And he's like, no, that's fair. See you later. I'm good. But yeah, good for Alec Pierce.
Yeah. Let's go through the list since in the spirit of first round pick busts that Veach has tried to redeem. I've concocted a list of some guys that, Veach signed that were former first round picks. Let's go through the list and see who was ass and who was great and who was meh. Jerry Tillery,
bad,
former first round pick of the Chargers, and Garrett. He's already off the team. He's on the Colts now. He's on the Colts now. Garrett, he had a sack, I think. He had
one
sack.
He was one of our lowest graded defensive players of the year. He's just not good.
He was a defensive end that was converted to defensive tackle, and
that's another Spags classic though. Like he takes like these, kind of more agile, like 3-tech, 4-tech guys, and he's like, I want you to put on 50 pounds and play D tackle. It's the same thing we did with Omar Norman Lott, which is I think that's a big reason why he got injured because he wasn't used to playing at that weight. But we don't need to get into that.
Yeah, well, hopefully that situation fixes itself next season because we're getting Omar back. Hollywood Brown, former first round pick of the Ravens, we brought him in. I wouldn't call him a bust anyway.
I'd say it was like a mid signing for us.
I think I don't think he was a first round bust, but I also think he just was what he was, which is a very slightly worse Christian Kirk. Or I don't know, like not a Christian.
It's like his ceiling was like prime MVS. His
ceiling was prime Christian Kirk.
Prime Christian Kirk, which would you take it? Yeah, but when you think of first round wide receiver, like you kind of are having like higher like I wouldn't call him a bust. I'd say he was an average player, and when we signed him, like he did some stuff for us, didn't excel, but I wouldn't say it was like not worth the signing.
Speaking of Alec Pierce, he did have more catches last year than Alec Pierce. He just had like 500 less yards somehow. So that's your other fun stats about football.
Alec Pierce is like the last wide receiver in like the too high era that like can consistently get a deep ball. I don't know how people.
Maybe that's why he got paid. Maybe that's why he got paid. And you know what? Don't even talk about looking into his game, dude. I was so high on Alec Pierce when we drafted freaking Sky Moore instead of Alec Pierce and George Pickens. I will fully admit I wasn't that high on Pickens. I wanted Alec Pierce more than Pickens. But the fact that we lost both of those guys and we picked Sky Moore, we had 3 options and we picked
traded
the worst
back. One. Just something else, man. What a great
that
draft.
5th round pick, I think, became Darian Kennard, who is one of the only trash offensive linemen we've drafted, except for Wanya Morris. Actually, we draft a couple bad linemen, but it doesn't matter. I'm getting angry again. For some reason, I put Kaiir Elam on the list twice. I didn't have to tell the audience, but I did put him on the list twice. Yeah. Kadarius Toney. Now, here's a guy that was 1,000% a bust on the Giants, but I have his jersey, so
I know you have his jersey.
Like he has a worshiper.
Look,
he has. We debated this in the group.
We talked about this in the media group chat, and it's like we gave up. What was it? Was it a 3rd round pick for him?
Yeah, we did give up a 3rd round pick for him.
I don't think that's worth it. Looking back, like I understand he had the punt return in the Super Bowl, he had the touchdown, but like that touchdown he had in the Super Bowl, first of all, you could have thrown that to like current Jerry Rice, and he probably could have scored there. You know what I mean? Like Jerry Rice right now.
Sky Moore caught the exact same touchdown.
Exact same thing.
Super
So like,
Bowl.
are we putting Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney on the same pedestal? Probably, right? So it's like, would people consider Sky Moore a good pick? No. Then I would consider this not a good trade. So, yeah, great, phenomenal punt return. Still think we win the game regardless. It's like, you know,
that's pretty sound argument. That's anti Kadarius Toney, and my only pro Kadarius Toney is exactly what you said, the punt return. So I'll say it was a meh. You could say it was a miss. And we could carry on to a guy that we'll probably both agree with. Damon Arnett, Raiders first round corner.
Mr. Shooter himself, man.
The year they had
like,
three
what, a week?
first round. Yeah, we had him for like a week. That's a second chance that he didn't
blew immediately. Didn't even like, he was probably driving to the stadium. Like, he got the call. He's like, I'm a Chief now. Driving on the way, gets pulled over. Why do I have 50 blicks in my car? All right, I'm done. And then Clark Hunt, yeah, we're good, brother. Hung up the phone.
Yeah, I think the Raiders had 3 first round picks that year, and I think they all three
missed on all of them. That was the Alex Leatherwood year.
Oh my God, are you serious?
That was such a bad pick, dude. I remember them taking Leatherwood.
3 firsts.
Crazy. That's why the Raiders are so bad. Like, they're slowly getting to a point where I think they can be like playable, but like they were in purgatory for so long because their drafting was just terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't that they weren't like, oh, they didn't put money into good players, they didn't sign the right guys. I think they had some really sleepy free agent picks. Jacoby Myers was great, and then they messed that up, and now he's great on the Jags. I mean, Devontae Adams in theory was a good idea, and like, I don't know, I like the corners they signed too, and they just mess up so much. It's just crazy. Like, yeah,
and it's just like, it's interesting though, because like when we initially signed Damon Arnett, I was pretty excited because like I thought he had some talent that we could use, but then he just immediately.
I was not excited.
Hey, I'm always excited for a signing initially. Like I want them to prove that they're bad.
I remember thinking that he shouldn't have been a first round pick anyway before the Raiders picked him. And then once the Raiders picked him, I was like, oh, that just solidifies that he's going to suck. So if you ever want to bet on somebody's downfall, if the Raiders pick him, unless their name is Brock Bowers, then they're probably going to suck. Oh, brother.
It was Henry Ruggs. Yep. So insane. What a crazy draft class.
Oh, thank you, Associate Producer Jackson. Garrett, I don't even think it was the Alex Leatherwood draft.
Was it really a different year?
I think that makes it even worse. Leatherwood and Cleveland Farrell were different picks that year.
Lynn Bowden Jr. Yeah,
I like Lynn Bowden.
But that's just a consistent terribleness.
Henry Ruggs at 12.
Raiders drafting, dude. It was
and
just
Farrell
it was so bad. Now, like Ruggs, I think was a good player until the incident, we'll say. But like, just happens,
Jonathan
right?
Abram. That was the year they had 3 picks. It was Cleveland Farrell, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Abram, and Trayvon Mullen at 40.
Hey man, everyone's had really bad draft classes,
and then they got Max Crosby at 106.
Yeah. We know our own. We had the 2022.
Wait, do I still have it? I might still have it. No, it's the 2023, and I do have it. It's a full screen graphic.
Just awful.
Felix, NEDK, Uzoma at round 1, pick 31. Rashee Rice, who is now, it's a pretty good pick. Wanya Morris, 3rd round pick. Chamari Connor, 4th round pick. Chamari Connor is good for a 4th round pick. BJ Thompson in the 5th, Keondre Coburn, and Nick Jones. Those 3 last picks, they didn't even barely make the roster. And I love Keondre Coburn.
Our live reaction to the BJ Thompson pick was so funny because we were just like, who? Like, who is this? Like, there were so many players we looked into.
Yeah. I was like, we don't need to get mad at this, Garrett. BJ Thompson. But yeah, I mean, well, honestly, sad end to his career, though. It was a cardiac arrest. Maybe he could have been something. You never know. So we don't need to hate on him. But it was weird that he transferred from Baylor to Stephen F. Austin or something. So Emmanuel Ogbah is our next guy that Veach redeemed.
I like Emmanuel Ogbah.
Everyone forgets he was a 1st round pick, but I don't. The Browns took him, I think, at like pick 2 or something crazy. I think I'm crapping out my ass right now, but I'm pretty sure Emmanuel Ogbah was taken like pick 2 or something crazy. But he really redeemed himself, and it's so sad he got injured because I think we would have re-signed him had he not gotten injured that year, Garrett. And I think he would have still been on the team up until like the Dolphins eventually cut him, because he went to the Dolphins, only got paid like $8 million a year, and he is everything that Mike Dana wishes he was. Dude,
Yeah.
Emmanuel Ogbah was great for the Dolphins, and
His departure, I think, really started the era of like the revolving door of the end in the Chiefs locker room, because like he was really consistent for us, and then once he left, like we've just had new guys in the room, like because that was when like we brought in Frank Clark, and then the next year like Terrell Suggs, and then we brought in Mike Dana, and then it just we have not had that consistency at edge since Ogbah left.
Garrett, I think Jackson said he was 32nd overall. Emmanuel Ogbah might be not allowed on the list. Wait, hang on. Was pick 32 wasn't in the first round?
That might have been before it was like I think they extended it.
No, I think it might have been like a he was the last pick of the second round. That's what he means.
Hey, look,
guys,
man,
pretend that
regardless,
everyone, for some
bringing
reason,
in a second round bust potentially that could turn into Emmanuel Ogbah.
That's so funny, dude. I love how I said nobody remembers his first round pick. Yeah, because he's not a first round pick.
Because he wasn't, and also he was a second round pick.
Yeah, take him off the list. Holy cow. Delete it immediately. All right, guys, I promise from here on out, they're all former first round picks. Giants corner DeAndre Baker. He kind of looked good for like a week or two, and then I think he got injured too. He was always going to be too slow. He was out of Georgia. The Giants picked him early. I mean, Garrett, we both agree that redemption project didn't work. I'm going to be honest. Too many of these redemption projects are not successes.
I mean, like,
especially the next guy,
Darren Lee. You know,
he did a thing recently.
Yeah.
Seems
like we're kind of flipping into the era of like, man, I feel like 50% of the Chiefs roster has like cases now, so it's like,
Well, and that's what pissed me off about whatever football aggregator account posted Darren Lee. He was on the Chiefs for like a year, maybe 2. And then they posted a picture of him like as the face of this crime that he committed. I'm like, dude, he was a Jet for way longer than he was a Chief. So don't put that on us. Don't put that on us. So yeah, well, Darren Lee did a thing. Mike Hughes did not.
Mike Hughes was decent.
I think that was a successful-ish redemption. He
like,
ended up playing for another team after that.
Yeah. But like he was decent for us when he played. Like he wasn't like outstanding, but like
too.
He was decent. You know,
yeah.
I don't think we gave much for him, if anything. I mean, I don't remember. I think we traded for him like a 7th round pick.
I thought we signed,
or was it free agency?
I thought we signed him, but I could be wrong. You might be right on that trade, but either way, he was a key contributor in a Super Bowl, and that's all you can ask for. I'm not gonna lie, we got through the whole list. I don't think there's a single hit, so maybe we should be concerned about this Kaiir Elam thing. I think Hollywood Brown is the best one, and he already was kind of good before. And then Mike Hughes is the second best, and then Kadarius Toney.
Mike Hughes was a trade in 2021. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
it was either a 6th or a 7th round pick. I'm pretty sure it was the 7th, but
Garrett ball.
We gave up a 2022nd. Oh no, we got a 2022nd 7th round. We gave up a 2022nd 6th round.
So
it was a little swap.
The classic. Yeah, the classic.
Taco Carlton. I really wanted him to work out. He's just a fun player, and it just didn't. He just wasn't good anymore. Yeah, balling in the UFL though, or USXL or whatever it's called now. But
the USXL, that's the size shirt you wear.
I'm not. You need a few more X's in there, my brother. But yeah, no, he's doing awesome things, I'm sure.
They brought him in because he played with Frank Clark. That was the thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And then it didn't work. I put Carson Wentz on the list because, I wouldn't.
We don't need to talk about Carson Wentz. I mean, it's just another one of those veteran quarterbacks that we just love to bring in who just are terrible, and whenever Mahomes gets injured or like he's just out for whatever reason, and we just get to watch the most boring football of all time. I don't think that'll be the case anymore with Justin Fields, though.
Maybe. We didn't even put him on the list. Holy cow! There you go, a first-round pick, dude. There's so many.
Yeah, I
examples.
guess that's also fair. But and then Cam Irving, it's just like
he was solid depth piece. That's who was taken number 2 overall. The other Browns player that we got. I was switching up Cam Irving and Emmanuel Ogbah. I promise I'm not crazy. Fact check me right now, associate producer.
That'd be hilarious.
Right, oh my gosh. No, Cam Irving is the Browns player that we redeemed, that we took 2nd overall. That's who it was. But I don't know if we really redeemed him, but I would give him a Uh-oh.
Cam Irving was the 19th overall.
What?
Still a first round pick. But nowhere close to second.
The second overall pick you were thinking of was Carson Wentz.
Maybe that's
no. That's definitely not what you were thinking about. That's just purely coincidental.
Guys, I swear, the Browns picked that 2nd overall at some point. Greg Robinson. Look it up. Is it Greg Robinson? Is that who I'm thinking of? The left tackle, Greg Robinson.
We're just going through every pick of all time, David.
It's got to be Greg Robinson. It's Greg Robinson. That's the Browns lineman who was taken 2nd overall that busted. It wasn't Emmanuel Ogbah. It wasn't Cam Irving. It was Greg Robinson.
He's going to come in and fact check you again, dude.
Put it in. Jackson will fact check live. I like.
Regardless, while he's finding the way to roast David, if we look at this as a whole, right? Historically, Kaiir Elam's not going to work, right? We've brought in a ton of these first-round guys that maybe deserve second chances, and I would say maybe one 50-50 shot on 2 of those guys were contributors, right? So
not good. Not good.
Obviously, he's a Chief now, so I'm going to be rooting for him until he proves he's not worth the root. But
he's gonna prove us all wrong. He's gonna be so good. I believe in Kaiir. We're gonna be a Kaiir supporting channel here. I believe.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jackson, tell me I was right.
The Browns have never selected or drafted anyone named Greg Robinson.
What am I thinking of? Who am I?
Bro does not know ball.
Don't you do that. I don't know Browns ball.
I think you're thinking of the 49ers D end that got drafted. That was a bust that went 2 overall. I'm blanking on his name. It was
Greg Robinson played for the Browns though. Jackson, this is not fair. Greg Robinson was selected number 2 overall. He just was selected by the Rams 2 overall, but he did play for the Browns.
I'm just looking at the Browns draft history.
I just looked up Greg Robinson, and it just said 2nd overall pick by the Rams, but he has a Browns headshot. So at some point, he was on the Browns. Regardless, it appears that I got my wires so twisted that it's just someone on the Browns. But, oh well, I guess we're going to have our editor, David Pokorny, edit out everything wrong that I said today because, oof.
Were you thinking of Solomon Thomas? For the 49ers.
No, but he was taken by the Niners. I was not. I think it was Greg Robinson. I just thought the Browns drafted him. Like, I'm pretty positive it was Greg Robinson who I was thinking of. Regardless, it's a pretty bad look. I'm not gonna
We've
lie.
been using that word regardless a lot today. We've been getting a lot of tangents have been evolving throughout the Talkin Chop world today.
Dude, I got too many names in my head, man. I got to save space for guys like Spencer Ware and freaking
well, then we got the 30 guys from the local pro day that we need to talk about. Like, there's just so many different names.
And I got to think about Darwin Thompson on the regular. I always think about what could Darwin Thompson have been if he didn't fumble all the time. I don't know why the 3 guys that come to my head are running backs. I was thinking about Anthony Fasano the other day, dude. I was just randomly up late thinking about Anthony Fasano on the Chiefs. There's like gifs of him still on Instagram, and it's like, why is there Anthony Fasano gifs? I was about to say regardless, but we really need to get back on track. Garrett was trying to get us right back on track. Local pro day. We had a local pro day the other day where we do it every year. I think we've done it for like 40 something years now. And we just bring in some guys from like Kansas, K-State, Missouri, and then guys who like grew up in the KC area that went off to other colleges. In this particular instant, it was 16 KU guys, 9 K-State guys, 8 Missouri guys, a guy from Wyoming who went to Rockhurst, a guy from Wisconsin who went to St. Michael's, a guy from Tulane who went to Rockhurst, and a guy from West Virginia who went to Blue Valley West High School. We're in the Blue Valley system, me and Garrett, so not West though. I mean, we're also really far removed from high school at this point, but always got to rep the blue baby of of the Blue Valley district, north specifically. Garrett, are there any guys on this list that you think are worth talking about? Because there's too many to go through every single name, I would say.
I mean, so like the couple guys that stood out to me are at positions of not need for us. Like I like Kobe Baines, the guard out of Kansas. He's been really solid for them for a long time, and his production was pretty good. And Sam Hecht, the center out of Kansas State, no sacks let up this year, very low pressures, just really solid run blocker as well. We did have I believe we had a top 30 visit as well with Kevin Coleman. So that might be a name that we keep an eye out for in terms of later on in the draft. But
we did. You're right. Yeah, that's a good point, Garrett. Kevin Coleman might be someone I sneak into my next mock draft right before. Because, guys, if you remember correctly, and I actually have the graphic to support what we're about to talk about, our top 30 visits are pretty good indicators of who we're going to get as an undrafted free agent or, some of those injury question mark guys we're going to draft. Obviously, this is only from last year, but I would love to spend all the time in the world to pull the data from the last, however many years. But it's been a really good indicator. So, I mean, just last year, Josh Simmons visited, Omar Norman Lott visited, Essa Pole, our dog, Melvin Smith, Brandon George, and then Dalton Cooper, who now is on the Packers. But all those guys we had as pre-draft visits. Because remember, as I always reiterate, the top 30 pre-draft visit doesn't mean you're a top 30 projected pick. It just is 30 random guys you can bring in to visit with and get a little bit bigger, in-depth look. So Kevin Coleman Jr., Garrett, could be a guy. Could be a guy that we take late 6th round or even undrafted if he's there. I don't know where he's projected to really go, but I like that shout. That was a good spot by Garrett. Couple other guys on this list. I like VJ Payne, the K-State safety. He played pretty okay last year. So, I mean, he was projected to go a little bit higher until last season, but I still think, he's a guy you can bring in camp and see what they got. I like Justice Finkley. He used to go to Texas. He was a defensive end. Now he played at KU as a defensive end, transferred there. He was okay, but I mean, I just like him. I don't think he's good. I just like him. And that's perfectly okay. So all in all, it's just it's a nice formality. I love how we do that every year. It's a great way to, see if a guy is good. Garrett, I think Graham Mertz went to one of these before too, our boy. So, or your boy.
The local pro day, yes, he did.
Yeah. So, I mean, and Graham Mertz became an NFL quarterback, one that is drafted higher than Quinn Ewers, which...
Hey, just let the man cook, okay? Give him a few years.
Look, Quinn Ewers isn't... I don't know. Quinn Ewers is a hard guy to say. Was he was supposed to be so pro ready. I just was shocked he went so late in the draft. And then, I don't know, the Dolphins are a dumpster fire now. We really have finished Talkin Chop, if I'm going to be honest, Garrett. So I kind of want to get into something that we didn't talk about last week that I had brought up to my mind earlier that's around the NFL in terms of news that is a division rival acquiring a new weapon. Talking about Quinn Ewers losing Jaylen Waddle to the Broncos. The Broncos now have Jaylen Waddle. They gave up a first-round pick for him. What do we think of that? Because I like Jaylen Waddle, but it's not like that receiver room scares me any more than it did before. I thought he does a lot of what Troy Franklin did, but I was
thinking about that the other day because my buddy's a big Broncos fan that I coach with.
You have a buddy for every freaking NFL team.
Hey, I'm just that extroverted guy, okay? But I was talking to him about it, and he's like, "Well, I was thinking about it, and the pick they gave up, right? It's like." If they were to take a wide receiver at that spot, would they get one that's better than current Jaylen Waddle?
No, probably not.
Probably not. And if they think their windows right now, and that was a consistent low point of their offense was, wide receiver capability.
Was it though?
Now, I think the way that they scheme their offense was similar to what we used to do with like our, Byron Pringle type guys. Like they were able to excel production from lesser wide receivers. And bringing a guy
Mims was like a second round pick.
Yeah.
Though.
But like, just Marvin Mims.
And
if you bring a guy with the explosive capability of Jaylen Waddle to the offense,
10 times
it adds it adds a whole another level to it, right? So like, if they think their window's right now, go for it. Like if we had traded for Jaylen Waddle and we gave him a first round pick, I'd be furious. But like if I was the Broncos and I'm like, hey, we think we're like, these next couple of years, this has to be it, right? I'm okay, sending a little firepower away to get a guy like Jaylen Waddle.
I think they should have just stuck with it and drafted linebacker Anthony Hill out of Texas at pick 29. But then again, I still think wide receiver was their biggest need. But I guess the players at 29, they just must not have liked it, and they're like, yeah, that's fine, you can have it.
And I liked Jaylen Waddle in Miami. It's just I don't think he's had the quarterback that fits his play style, right? Like he is this down the field explosive guy, and you had a QB with arguably one of the worst arms in the league throwing the ball to him. So it's like he might be able to see a little bit more of a explosion in capability now with Bo Nix.
Yeah, but that move was just a little. I feel like an overpay, but I understand the window is now.
I would agree. I think it was
definitely
an overpay, but like I think it was at a time where Denver doesn't really mind that much that they're overpaying.
Yeah, because to be fair, you got the Chiefs down right now, down for the count. Now I think we're going to be back already next year, but
I wouldn't say back like crazy back, but we're definitely going to be way more competitive than we were this year.
But I think you got to strike while the iron's hot, while the Chiefs are low, while the Chargers are kind of figuring out.
While the throne is vacant, you got to take a stand for it, and I respect that.
They were one game away.
The blood was in the water, right? So Bo Nix gets injured in the AFC Championship game, and it's just
and they think that they could have probably beat Seattle, and I'm sure
before
they
the AFC
wouldn't have.
Championship game. Sorry.
Yes. But I mean, whatever, dude. There's a lot of chop to be talked, and listen, I'm excited for this draft. I think we could talk a little bit about like what you want to see from the first picks, and then we can end the episode early. We don't have to go an hour. Honestly, 45 minutes is a little better anyway. But Garrett, you were telling me before the episode started that a certain someone, if we picked him at 9, you would blow your brains out or something of the similar category.
I understand the hype, right? That when people see super athletic tight end, they're like, guys, Travis Kelce's getting old. We need him so bad. If we take Sadiq at 9, you will not see me anymore. That would be the biggest overpay, overhype, like just such of a reach. And I saw this guy, and he's like, well, if we look at the production, he was more productive than Kelce was in college. I'm like, well, first of all, Kelce was a 3rd round pick. He didn't go number 9 overall. Secondly, right? I don't think he actually outperformed Kelce in college. I think they were pretty statistically the same. And they're like, well, if you were to look at Kelce now, would you take him at 9? I'm like, yeah, but like that's not how this works. That's not how this works.
Also, Kelce had like off the field issues that prevented him from playing. Kenyon Sadiq's been out there, and he only looked good when Oregon was just absolutely blowing out all of their opponents, and he didn't look good the 3 years prior. Nobody talked about him at all the 3 years prior to this season, and this season wasn't even that crazy. He's not worth pick 9. He is no better of a prospect than Noah Fant was, and Noah Fant is already a bust. So, I don't like that build for a tight end, unless your name is, did I say Noah Fant or Harold Fannin? I think I said, did I say Noah Fant or?
You said Noah Fant.
Okay, good. Because I'm thinking about the only exception to that is Harold Fannin, who is the build that Sadiq is kind of. But
I think people are really looking into his athleticism instead of, on the field capabilities, where it's like
he dropped a lot of crucial balls against good competition. When he finally played good competition, he didn't look that good.
Now, like, if I saw a guy like Uar Bernard, right? It was an international player that they brought in for the NFL Combine. Like, had one of the greatest athletic. I think it was like probably the best defensive end athleticism score ever this year. He was like 6'5", 310 pounds, 6% body fat, monster, just absolute monster. They brought him over from Nigeria, just freak athlete. I could understand getting hype about that based off of athleticism because like it's like the most athletic dude you've ever seen. Like there was a bunch of like NFL scouts who were like, I've never seen someone this explosive before, that big, right? But like that's not Sadiq, right? So just saying like all these like holes we have at premium positions, and you're talking about taking a tight end at 9. It's heresy. Like also you just don't know ball.
Also, you have to think about playing the draft board. What is a position that you could get a good quality player, if not a better quality player, later? I like Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt. I like Tanner Kozel out of Houston. I like Justin Jolly is the same player as Sadiq. Same build, same size. You can get him in the 5th round. At least take a flyer on him. Like, there is a lot of better tight ends. Oscar Delp, people like, even though he did nothing in college.
He also visited with the Chiefs as well.
So did Jolly as well. Who I wish we visited with Kozel. We did at the senior day. We visited with him. But who else? There's so many good tight ends in this class, Garrett, that are just slipping my mind right now. Of course, as I have to say them. Oh, Trigg out of Baylor. Trigg out of Baylor is pretty good. I do think the Texas guy kind of sucks. Injuries. I just don't think he's pro ready. But there's options. There's so many options.
Do you want me to just go down the big board?
Go down the big board.
Sadiq from Oregon, Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt, Max Clare from Ohio State, Sam Roche.
Oh, people like him.
Stanford, Michael Trigg from Baylor, Justin Jolly, North Carolina State, Jack Andres, Texas.
I just also don't think we need to invest in tight end right now. I think we could wait till next year to invest in tight end.
Well, you got to get the heir to Kelsey now. Like,
I mean, do you though? Like,
he could be on the roster. Noah Gray. I don't think Noah Gray's the future.
I still have hope in Noah Gray. I love Noah Gray. I still have hope in that guy. Noah Gray has shown that he can make clutch catches. I think we just need to give him consistent playing time.
Yeah, that's fair. Well,
specifically, not only just in 3 tight end sets. Yes. Give him times where like he's playing the Kelsey role, he's going out in the slot. We're out of either the pistol or shotgun. Give him time where he's not just out there with three tight ends that are easy to cover.
And he's only 26 years old, so yeah, there's still some potential growth there. And I'm gonna be honest, I just don't see us having a 6'3" tight end. Even though we did visit with Fannin, and I do think we wanted him, but I still see us with a tiny tight end. I mean, look at the size and scale of all of our tight ends that we've drafted. We overdrafted Jared Wiley, dude, in the 4th round. That was just crazy. Like,
I just don't understand a world where like you could see a guy like David Bailey, Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs, Fulton 9, or we trade up a little bit, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go Sadiq. Like, I just don't get that mindset. Like, you have these consistently better athletes that are better at the positions and are more like, I don't think
we need those positions now. Today.
We need them right now, today, immediately, right? And, sure, some of them, you might not think they're blue chip guys, right? But, like, they are significantly more valuable right now at 9 than Sadiq.
Right, and I was about to say, I only really think there's 3 blue chip guys in this draft, and that would be Sonny Styles, excellent IQ, measurable speed, everything you ever want, and the production was there. Caleb Downs, perennial safety, gonna be a Hall of Famer. And then Jeremiah Love.
Mega IQ. Caleb Downs has some of the best, like, instincts I've ever seen. The dude is just a hawk.
And if he's at 9, I said it. I don't care. Take him. We need a safety, too. I know we like AJ Halsey and other stuff. Yeah. Basically, if we draft a good player at 9, Garrett, I'll be happy. And that's what we're saying, right? But then we get to the Cardinal Tate debate that everyone's talking about, too. I've seen people say we take Jordan Tyson at 9, dude. I have seen the most everything thrown out at this point, to the point where I have no idea where we're going to go. Spencer Fano, your favorite right tackle, could be taken at that pick now that Jawaan Taylor is officially gone.
Or we take Olava Vega out of Penn State, the guard, for whatever reason at 9, But
that's getting a good player. So it's about getting a good player. Maybe that's who you take. I don't know. But he won't have a place to play.
All I'm saying is, guys, we see the mock drafts. Some of you know ball. That's all I'm going to say. Some of you know
Garrett,
ball.
all of us just talk all this crap for us to draft Kenyon Sadiq.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, we're gonna be live. Like you guys, we're gonna watch. You guys are gonna watch the draftathon. We're gonna get every pick down. I think worst case scenario, imagine like we trade up to like 7, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, Bailey's there, and then we take Sadiq. I'm literally jumping out the window immediately.
Garrett, that's not even a possible scenario. Like that's not as crazy as drafts have been in the past. There's no way we'd trade up for Sadiq.
Could you imagine? I'm gonna be if we have the opportunity to draft David Bailey and we don't, I'm going to be the saddest man alive.
I don't know how you got so excited and attached to David Bailey. I think he's good, but
he's explosive and he's just such a turn around the corner DN. He has the production, and he's a monster around the edge. I love like
he also is the opposite of George Karlaftis, which is really good to have.
Here's my thing. Like for Ruben Bain, right? He's the 3 down guy. He's the guy you can keep out there even with like, when they're going to go heavy run. That's his skill set. But he's not going to be able in the NFL to consistently get around the edge in those have to get a sack moments. David Bailey can. And that's what we don't have. We do not have the guy that on those 3rd and longs, when they're going to be dropping back in those pass sets, that can get past the tackle around the edge. We don't have that. That's David Bailey.
That's a really good point, Garrett.
What's been the worst moment?
Sold me
what's been the worst thing about our defense the last 3 years? 3rd and long.
When they know we're blitzing.
3rd and long.
When we know we have to get a sack. 3rd and long. When Shamari Connor's on the
David Bailey solves that problem.
That's a good point. I never really thought of it that way. Do we really have like an edge rusher that when we know it's a true passing situation, we know they're going to win? No, you're right. Because now they can just put their ears back and actually go get the quarterback. We don't have that guy. Because George can make plays when they're thinking it's a run and he can disrupt it, and then he actually he's good off play action. He's good at creating pressure. He's not good at finishing. But George Karlaftis with Bailey, George Karlaftis could apply the initial presser faster than Bailey maybe, and then Bailey's the one who finishes because Bailey will be there too. And then Chris Jones,
is why here's the thing,
you can't step up because of Chris Jones. So then maybe you win. Maybe now you got me in love with it, Garrett. Jackson said don't fall in love with prospects, but now I might be in love with that idea. That sounds like the best case scenario.
And look, hey, he might be a bust. He might be, right? Knock on wood. But I think there's a high chance that he goes before Ruben Bain, and regardless, I'm getting more on the Bain. Like I was a big Bain hater, like early on in draft season, like near the end of the NFL season when I was starting to look into prospects, and I was like, the guy's he's going to be another DN that we can get that's just not going to be able to finish sacks, right? So,
but he has that bend, Garrett. Get on the Bain train. He has elite Von Miller.
I will be happy if we get either of those guys because that means we're drafting the right way. But I will.
What about Arvell Reese? I never thought we'd ever have to talk about this guy, if I'm going to be completely honest, because I have opinions on Arvell Reese.
There's no way he dropped past 3. There's just no way.
I think he might, because here's what I'm seeing from him. Isaiah Simmons 2.0. Not same position, but same situation. Here's a guy in college who played all over the field. Arvell Reese could play standing linebacker, drop into coverage, play off the edge, play defensive end. You really could put him wherever you wanted inside that front 7. Isaiah Simmons, very similar in the way of like, he might play safety. He might play linebacker. He might play defensive end because Isaiah Simmons lined up at defensive end in college a lot too. Or he might play slot corner or something like that. In the NFL, you kind of have to have a role and you have to be really good at it. A jack of all trades, master of none doesn't really translate well to the NFL. That's why I worry about Arvell Reese. He's a tweener build. He's not.
Here's my thing about
big.
Arvell Reese. If I had to explain Arvell Reese to someone that was watching Chiefs football that didn't know anything about him, I'd be like, imagine, oh my God, linebacker we just, I'm blanking
Leo
on his name.
Chenal.
Leo Chenal on mega steroids. That's
Arvell Reese. He's a better
Reese.
Leo Chenal.
I think he's like the peak of what Leo Chenal could be.
I feel like
he
Reese
played a ton on the D line for Ohio State, and he played a lot, like a decent amount in the box. Like it was almost 50-50 split,
Really?
right? So like
it was
I
50-50 at Ohio State. That's pretty crazy.
I
mean,
think this year
I
he
thought
had
he
like
played
300
more
snaps on the D line and like 300 something in the box.
Well, I feel like Leo Chenal is a better coverage. I think they're like the inverse of each other. Whereas Leo Chenal is the better coverage guy, Reese might
Arvell
be the
Reese
better
is
edge.
the better.
But the thing is about that is they say he's going to play edge in the NFL. Like, is that the right call? It really depends where he goes.
But like,
is if he's going to be good. That's what I say.
In that sense, right? Like if you think Arvell Reese is going to play edge in the NFL, just take the edge instead, right?
Yeah.
Just take the guy that plays edge.
Apparently, Jackson said he's lined up at 34 snaps in the slot at corner and 2 as an outside corner. Oh yeah, it's about 327 on the D line, 283 or 286 in the box. Like
So
yeah,
more
you're
on
right,
the D-line,
50-50 splits.
Right? Now that's a Spags special, right? Dropping a D end or whatever into coverage for whatever reason.
Screw you, you're right. This is actually a good Chiefs player then. For
but like
Spags.
I don't think athletically he drops to 9. Like I think our trade up maximum is the Browns pick. Maybe we jump the Saints and we trade with the Commanders for 7. I just don't think we get anywhere up to like 5.
Well, I heard he could be an early faller. Garrett, have you seen this? And I actually genuinely think this might be the true case scenario. Jets at pick 2, they go David Bailey. They don't consider
I could see
Arvell
it.
Reese.
I really could see it, and I'm so high on him that like it would make sense to me. It would make sense.
Think of
He's a
another
great
coach,
player.
another coach like yourself, another scout like not like yourself. You're not a scout yet, but another coach like yourself, another scout out there is definitely looking at David Bailey and they're seeing the same things you're seeing. And they're like, this is a guy who has a great spin move. It's a guy with speed, a guy who finishes. I want him at pick 2. He's a true edge rusher because he actually played edge his whole college career versus a guy like Arvell Reese. You're banking on that athleticism translating. So I think that's the debate right there. The Chiefs wanted to get a better look at both of those guys. They haven't officially met with Ruben Bain as a top 30 pre-draft visit, but they did meet with him at the Combine. Also looking at those Combine visits, Garrett, are very telling of who the Chiefs might draft. Who knows who the hell we draft, honestly. I just know it's not Jeremiah Love anymore, and that was a fun little pipe dream that a lot of fans had for a little bit there. I honestly had started to cope with the idea of even getting Love, but I mean, you and I both had said like it's just not a premium position that you take at pick 9. I don't care if it's a Bijan Robinson type player. We need.
It's just the value of having the rookie contract
of 5
for an
years.
edge over a running back, right? Because
yeah, and the cheaper.
It's so much cheaper value wise, right? Like if I could pick anyone in this draft, if we didn't have any holes, I'm taking Love. If we didn't have a single hole, I'm taking Love. He's the best player in the draft by a mile.
Yeah.
But
I'm taking
we
Sammy
have
Styles if I can, but
we unfortunately have holes, right? And we need to fill them early, hypothetically with David Bailey. But I could see him going super early. It's going to be a really interesting draft night. I'm really excited for the draftathon. I like it, I'm really excited for the viewers to see what we got cooking for that, and just the reactions we're going to have as the craziness of round 1 and the rest of the rounds unfolds.
And if you guys are loving Talkin Chop, we're trying to be way more consistent with it. Like I said in last episode, I got in a car accident. Garrett had a couple things come up in work. I started a new job, and not a lot of Chiefs news happened, so we did miss a couple weeks of episodes. But I saw how well you guys loved up the Justin Fields episode. I mean, the Spotify numbers have been looking great every day. So remember, guys, if you just like to listen to us in the car shower, you can listen to us on Spotify and, give us some love there as well. Check out the Instagram, Talkin Chop. That's where I post all the breaking news. I try to do that on top of having a full-time job. It's I got my mobile templates, the news comes out, it might be a little later than it had been when I was in college, but it's a lot better. It's pretty graphics. You get all the information eventually. You can be patient. You can be 5 minutes late. Chill on that. But yeah, so hopefully the draftathon, we do good stuff. But at the end of the day, guys, we're just doing this out of passion, out of love of the game. We love our Chiefs. We know you love the Chiefs too. We love talking to you guys. And yeah, Garrett, do you have any final words of wisdom before we check off on this hour-long episode that we totally thought we were going to bail out of early?
Associate producer Jackson said it in the chat, and it's a very true thing. Rule number 1, don't fall in love with prospects. And we say this every year. And it just gets to the point where, you look into the guy so much and you're going to hate to see him go somewhere else. I mean, we've had plenty of those over the years where it's like, Harold Fannin for you was a big one. That was a really big one. But I'm really excited. It's good to get more consistent with this. And, just judging based on what we said earlier, right? It's like we wanted to, hey, 45 minutes is going to be fine. We're going past an hour now, right? So it's just, we go off on tangents. We love to talk football, and we love to talk football with you guys as well. So
should we make it Twitch? Because low key, this is a great format for a live stream, is just the way that we do our podcast, is because we love to get on tangents. So I might make a Twitch, and it will stream a debut to our Twitch as well.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think if you guys want to see us on the old Twitch.
But also, Garrett, that did make me think of one thing real quick. Harold Fannin Jr., before we had this video, my God, I have to go on this tangent, dude. I actually became low on him once the Browns drafted him, because I was like, oh, that's it. His career's over. He's on the Browns. And he's behind David Njoku. It's over. But, dude, some players are just that good that they just outperform situation. And Harold Fannin outperformed his situation. That was like the worst place he could have went, and he outperformed it. So, I really would have loved. Man. Harold Fannin would have been so good.
If David Bailey goes to the Jets, I will be depressed, because not only will we miss out on my favorite player in the draft, we will also have to watch him on the Jets. So.
Yeah, well, so then he won't do anything, and he'll turn into the next Jermaine Johnson, where he ends up getting traded 3 years into his career, because the Jets can't develop anybody on that defensive line. The instant Quinnen Williams leaves the Jets, he's an impact player on the Cowboys. He was great on the Jets.
Could you imagine we trade up to 2?
On the Cowboys. If we trade up to 2, I heard it might not be expensive.
So much.
I heard it wasn't that expensive, Garrett. They say it might not be expensive to trade up in this draft, especially if you give them 2027 picks, because everybody and their mother wants 2027 picks. So we will see in the draftathon, which is not next episode. There will be an episode in between, so we have some time. See you guys.